So our next lesson on the foundations of Rome, heading towards the second secession, is going to be about something called the Decemvirates. But first, here's the 5 questions on the previous lesson about the role of the tribunes and Coriolanus, Genutius, Publilius, Terentilius, all that business. You know what to do. If you don't know the answer, look in the previous video. So, the Decemvirates, 10, deck 10, 452 to 450 BC. Can be events of these dates. Just the keywords. Okay, let's go. So, if you remember from the previous lesson, Terentilius had been a tribune, and he demanded some limits to consular power. He demanded a written constitution, written laws. He said the consuls have too much power because, well, no one knows what they can and can't do because the laws aren't written down anywhere. And the Senate said, yeah, that's interesting. We'll look at that, and forgot about it, kicked it into the long grass. This carries on until about a few years later, the tribunes realise they're getting nowhere. So they change their tack, they change their demands. The tribunes go for something else, and they base it on Athens. At this point, in the 450s BC, Athens has become a democracy. This guy Solon has, for the first time ever, written down the law. So Athens has a written constitution. So the tribunes say to the Senate, we need something similar. We need some written laws. And the Senate agree to send a delegation to Athens in 452 BC to have a look, have a think, to come back with some ideas. And when they come back, it's decided. For 1 year, we'll get rid of the consuls and the tribunes, and instead we'll have 10 men rule the city, the Decemvirates. And in this year, they will run the city, but then they'll also work on these written laws. Yeah, that's the plan. And the Decemvirate do an excellent job. They rule the city really well for that 1 year. And at the end of that 1 year, they produce their laws. Led by Appius Claudius Crassus, the grandson of the first Claudius Crassus, the son of the previous Crassus. And people are nervous because his granddad and his dad were so against the plebeians, but he appears to be a decent bloke. He's a hero to the plebeians because he produces these 10 tables, the 10 lists of laws. Yeah? But not 12. So the problem is, some think, oh, you know what? These 10 tables, all these laws here, they're great, but they're not quite enough. We need some more laws. We need some more laws. So I'll tell you what, we'll have another Decemvirate. We'll have another Decemvirate. Now, and this is Crassus's chance. He's been playing the plebs for suckers all along. Remember, the Decemvirate are all patricians. And he's decided to have another one. I said, right, we don't want Crassus to be on this second group of Decemvirs. So we'll cleverly put him in charge of picking the new group. Therefore, he can't be in this group because he's picking. Doesn't work. He picks 9 people, mates of his, they pick him, and he ends up being the leader of the new Decemvirate. And they rule tyrannically. First thing they do, they get themselves some lictors each. Each Decemvir gets 10 bully boys, 10 lictors. So now he's got a little private gang, a little private army. And they meet, they have trials for enemies in their houses in secret. So they're ruling like tyrants, and they're nicknamed the 10 Tarquins after the last tyrannical ruler of Rome. And at the end of that year, they produce 2 more tables. But these 2 tables are not like the first 10. They are they're very pro-patrician, very anti-plebeian. Like, for instance, the famous one is a law forbidding plebeians and patricians to marry.